What's up, family? This is Dr. Baruch of the ELIfe Power Lunch with Dr. Baruch and Kris Murray, and we have another Baruch to assist us in this show today. He has become a regular as he finds himself giving us content when we need content. He's our content specialist. And as always, our goal is to provide for you, the community, information, product, people, and stuff that's going to help you make better choices, that's going to help you down this roadway called life. It's like a GPS on how to get to where you know you need to be getting to. Please like, share, post, repost, comment, subscribe so that everybody in your circle can know that this kind of great information is being made available to you. And also, for those of you who want to be on this side of the camera and are interested, you would want to get in contact with us as soon as possible so that we can make you a part of this great and growing team here at the ELIfe Media Group. And now, for the ELIfe Power Lunch with Dr. Baruch and Kris Murray, we have in our studios Candice Camille. Come on, Baruch.
So we got to get a virtual applause for that, right? Because you know I like the energy. It's a pleasure to be here. I literally thank you for the opportunity.
Great.
Just to be here. So thank you.
Great. And for those two people out there, because I know it's only two who don't know who you are, tell us who you are. I know everybody else knows. Who is Candice Camille?
So for those two people that I don't know, and I want y'all to share this on, right? I want you to share it on for the ones that I don't know. I'm Candice Camille. I'm the Wellologist. And I guess you say, what's a Wellologist, right? It's something I made up. I teach women to be well. I actually help them become sexy, fit, and well. That's what my whole platform is all about. And as Dr. Baruch said, we're talking about a GPS, just a plan that you have to follow. And that's basically what it is. But the question is, do you want to get on that road? Do you want to get on that plan? So we are here to talk about that. So I am absolutely excited anytime that anybody gives me the mic and we can talk about what it really, really takes and how simplistic it is to be well, actually to think well and be well now.
So what started you on this journey to being well? Were you just born that way, or did you encounter some life experience that made you say, you know what, I better get on this road?
Of course, I'd like to say I was born that way, but it wouldn't be the truth.
Right.
It's unfortunate that it's always something that is going to take to happen to us. And I'm a cancer conqueror. So 27 years ago, I got diagnosed with throat cancer. And it wasn't because I smoked. It was just a byproduct of my life. And that's what it is, because we live a lot of stressors in our life. At the time, I have been, dealing with child abuse, dealing with homelessness and domestic violence, and then living on the street. You kind of open up your whole world to a lot of stuff. So, and it didn't show up to years later, and that's what happens to us. Like, what happens in our past generally comes and meet us at our future. And it showed up years later after I had got settled in life. But being diagnosed with cancers in my 30s, and I had to fight like hell for my life, and understanding what it took to really, really get well, which brings me to the Wellologist. So some of the things that I've learned of what I absolutely had to do about your mind, your body, your soul, your environment, what what you're exposed to, that's going to get me on the other tracks. But at the end of the day, the very thing that happened to me was me making a decision that I didn't want to die, number one, and I did not want to live like this anymore because, Western medicine told me I was going to die.
Sure.
Changed my mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of people who have said exactly what you said that are not here now. They said, I'm not going to die. Cancer's not going to beat me. Cancer, doesn't have me. I got cancer, or whatever that is, that whole, spiel, but they're not here. What is it, do you think, made your journey a little different? Exactly.
And just that, I start making noise.
That's my applause for what a great question.
That's just that. You've got to start making noise with yourself.
There you go.
Because again, you got to get out of the fear space, and you got to get into the workspace, and you got to put yourself around people that literally can help you out, and understanding what does that really mean to get what you needed, and understanding the body. So I always say reading is fundamental. You have to go and be your own advocate and start reading and understand it. how basic principles, see, we move away from the basics. We move away from what we know for sure to work, you know, because we're trying to get it faster. But I just went back to the basics. I went back to the Bible. I went back to Garden of Eden. And that's where I started to grow from. But for everything that I read, everything that I know, one of the things that just kept coming up, beyond society, and for me, the only way was to get the body strong was through nutrition, it was through movement, it was through sleep, and it was through water. So for those 4 things to start with, that's the basics. For those 4 things, that's exactly what I started going to.
Yeah, and I think I don't think we have the best relationship with our body. If we had a better relationship with our body, we would know kind of when it's making noise, right? We would know when it's calling out to us and saying, hey, stop. You know, when we have a pain, it's because something's wrong. You know, when we're having inflammation, it's because something's wrong. Something we're doing is wrong, and we have to stop it. And many times, as opposed to listening to our body, we suppress that energy. And we don't listen, and we get then worse results because our body was trying to give us a heads up. You know, the what's that, the little indicator light? They call it the idiot light on the dashboard, and we, like idiots, we cover it up with some, you know.
I call it the dummy tax.
Yeah.
We pay a dummy tax for it. And just for our own selves, it's our behaviors. So it's what we were taught. See, we were taught not to value our bodies. No one taught it to us. So, but when you become a responsible person, a responsible human being, and like you said, speaking to pain, when you says we're not in tune to it, you know, we just react to it. So pain is an indicator that something needs to change in your body. So if you have pain anywhere, it's pretty much telling you, you need to wake up.
Yeah.
It's like, are we listening to what our body's trying to tell us? But what happens is we're not listening to the breakdown. And we wait for extreme measures. Yeah. So it has to be extreme. We have to get diagnosed with something. With diabetes, with cancer, with hypertension, with cholesterol, you know, with heart disease. And these are all the diseases that we inject into our cells that we can fix by eating well, by moving well, by sleeping well, you know, and making sure that, you know, we're hydrated and keeping our bodies in an alkaline state versus an acid state. So those are the things that we know. You know, I often ask the question, is what are we pretending not to know? Because we know. It's what are we willing to do right now? What are you willing to do right now to make your life better, number one? And the next question to ask yourself is, are you living the life you want to live? And if not, what are you going to do about it?
Right. Well, I think, and this is probably another show, but I think some of it has to do with our belief systems. Because my grandmother never taught me the notion of believing that somebody else was going to do anything for me, that I was going to have to do it, although I could get help. You know, I could call on help. I could call for assistance. I could ask for things to work in my favor. But I was going to have to do the work. And I think a lot of people are sitting back waiting for somebody else to do the work.
Oh, so you're right. That's a whole nother, that's huge, because it's like, whose responsibility is it? Are you going to blame church? Are you going to blame state? Are you going to blame government? Come on now, it's your body, it's your story. You get to decide, are you going to write a healthy story or are you going to write a disease story? So when you talk about responsibilities, even in our democratic state, as to the things that we work for, but at the end of the day, we as an individual, no matter what, are responsible for our own well-being. You can't blame me. And I've heard you say, and I say it all the time, you can't blame your mama, you can't blame anybody. Right. You have to be responsible, because in that age, they did what they were supposed to do. That's what they knew to do. Now that we know better, we're still not doing better. You're waiting on someone else to make you well?
We've got, well, I know that there's work that you do. You didn't just heal yourself or get control over your body and your state of wellness and consciousness, but you now are offering that to the public. Tell us about what you're doing now to help others have a better and more successful life and achieve their goals with regard to, you know, a better quality of life and health.
Well, after I did it, because again, you have to see if it works. So some of the things that I did, and you know, again, my background is medical, so I was in pulmonology for 28 years, and once I got healed, I promise, God to teach it to the world.
How many lives have you lived? Now, wait a minute. You did that, and you were here, you were there, got children. You got children?
I keep telling you, I have 2 children. I have my son is 40. They told me their ages. So wait, I have to think. No.
Listen, I said your children, not your boyfriend.
This is what I'm talking about, though, right? So I get that. So my son think he's my boyfriend. No, I'm telling you. But my son, and they corrected my ages. I tell them I lie about my age so much that they tell me how old they are. So I've been saying for years he's 38, but he's 40 now, and my daughter is 44. Again, back then I was a hot mess. Today I'm just hot.
There you go. I like that. A good transition, you know.
Good transition. But needless to say, I am the new 60, and I'm okay with that. But I learned in my 30s what it really takes to be well. Sure. And I promise to teach it. So again, just going back to those 4 basic principles. So again, I am COO of Willpower Sports and Wellness and CEO of Candice Camille Enterprises, where we literally teach women how to become sexy, fit, and well. And what that is just a very cute term of how do you get healthy, then how do you stay healthy? Mm-hmm. Because it's not about getting, it's not about starting, it's about staying. See, in this day and age of a microwave, we want to push the button, we want the easy button, we want it just like that. And I can honestly say, I believe that there's no quick fixes anywhere. You have to do the work. We consistently pray about it. You know, I tell my clients every day, you can't hide behind Jesus. Jesus already know. He already given us what we needed. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day now, are you willing, if you believe and you have faith and you have an expectation, but are you willing to do the work? Mm-hmm. So we help you do the work. So based of all, just high performance training in the gym. And one of the things I figure I came up with that was simplistic was this little move called the plank. And it's called the Plank Talk Challenge. Did I invent planking? No. Talking? Definitely not. But to put it together, Plank Talk Challenge, yes, I did. And it's a platform where I founded Plank Talk Nation, where as an entrepreneurs, and we're all on the go. So I wanted to come up with something that you can do in 1 minute that was going to change your body. It's going to change your mind, because it's going to change your soul. Because it's not a planking thing, it's a commitment thing. So like even as we move on and getting well, it's about commitment. It's about taking, I always say, my 5 pills. You know, we're talking about pharmaceuticals and what we need to take to be well, but if you take the commitment pill, if you take the consistency pill, if you take the discipline pill, if you take the determination pill and have a little patience with that, you will be well. See, it's not about where we are now, it's about where we're going. Mm-hmm. So it's like, even if you're in your 40s, what are you doing to see 50 well, and 50 to see 60, and so forth and so on? So we literally came up with a strategy that you can actually use every single day. And I've come up with, I call my 10 doctors. They're rhetorical, of course, but if you visit these 10 doctors every single day. I started with 8, and as I've gotten into getting older and things start happening to us, it's things you need to add on. So again, it doesn't become that cookie cutter approach. Mm-hmm. So it becomes, what do I have to do every single day in order to be well? And a lot of clients say, do I have to do it every day? So I simply say it should be like breathing. Taking care of you should be like breathing. So if breath is life and you want more life, or you want to add more life to your years and more years to your life, why wouldn't you want to do this every day? So it's those 8 doctors that I do. So again, I tell all of our people, if you want those 8 doctors, you're going to have to come and see me, right?
There we go. There we go.
You're going to come and see me. Actually, I'm having a huge conference on April the 6th called Think Well, Be Well Now, and I'm actually presenting those doctors, and we call it a WRAP. And what that WRAP is, it's a Wellness Recovery Action Plan. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap you up to give you a plan. And these doctors, these daily doctors, are part of your plan that you need to do every day. And it sounds like a lot, but before I got here today, I done saw all of mine, except for one. Mm-hmm. And I'll give y'all that one, and that's Dr. Sleep, and I'm going to do that when I get back home. But that's it. But that's the Dr. Sleep, and when you think about the things that you have to do every day, these are the things that you have to do And basically, you have to want it. That's a huge part. Most of us need it. So, you know, we beg for what we need, but we will definitely invest in what we want. We'll put the time, the energy, and the money into what we want. So when I'm talking to people, it's based on, do you want it? See, you're going to have to come through the door. So as before, and I'm sure you're in this space as well, I'm no longer interested in chasing after you. We are adults. If this is something that you absolutely want, you will show up and you will be in this room.
That's it. That's it. Great, great. Well, it's great advice. And again, it's great to have you on and sharing with us what you do and the success that you've had, and to let people know that you don't start where you are. You know, today you're not where you were 30 years ago, 28 years ago when you encountered, you know, your challenges, but it's part of that journey, and you've been successful, and you want to teach that. So for those of you in the viewing and listening audience who want to find out more about how we learn to, what is that? What was the name of the class that you're teaching?
How to think well. Okay, so let's talk about listening and hearing, right?
Yeah.
And I know we got a lot of time, but when you hear, it just goes in one ear and out the other.
That's not what I did, though. She's funny. That's not what I did.
but when you listen, it's a learning thing. I always say listening is at the cellular level, because when you listen, you learn. And one of the things about that, though, and I'm just teasing Dr. Baruch, but one of the things about that is Think Well, Be Well Now. That's #1 on April the 6th. You can go to gotaminute.eventbrite.com to find out all the information on that. But for Candice Camille, it's CandiceCamille.com, and you will find all the information on me. Like I said, I'm a wellologist, international speaker. I go around the world to bring this message, and I was just here at Everlasting Life, bringing sort of the same message here, because the message needs to keep being told until all of us get it. See, because especially us, we need to get it. At what point are you going to wake up? Are you going to wise up? And are you going to rise up to get this message? And, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't say plank up. So,
there you go.
so for all of you that's out there, if you're looking for something to do, and I say that to anybody, in 1 minute, you can plank. You know, go to Plank Talk Nation on Facebook and all social media platforms, or at The Wellologist, and follow me. I would love that you all follow me and join me in Dr. Baruch in this wellness revolution, because that's exactly what it is.
That's what's up. Again, I want to thank Candice Camille for coming on board with us today. This has been the ELIfe Power Lunch, and you all got a mouthful today. You all are full, and you all should know exactly what you need to do, and if you don't know, you should know where to go to find it. Again, this has been the ELIfe Power Lunch with Dr. Baruch and Kris Murray. You all stay tuned to the ELIfe Media Network for more great programming.